Welcome back for round 2 of this daily event on Outside the Deckbox on PureMTGO.com. In case you forgot, I'm Joshua Clater and we're playing a black-green rock deck. We've lost the die roll again. And I decided to keep this hand. We've got a couple of good 3-drops. We've got Vraska. We don't have any removal though. And he casts a turn 2 Pack Rat, which has the potential, unanswered, to be a very bad thing for me. He doesn't attack. And I make a Witch Stalker. I go ahead and attack with my Lotleth Troll. That was probably a mistake. But I can't just let him sit back and keep getting rat tokens. I make no blocks because I know he has Mutavault. And this time I just send him with a 3/3. Block a couple of rats. He makes another rat. I regenerate my troll. And make a 3/2 out of my troll. I go to 6. I've got no good plays at this point. The turn 2 Pack Rat went unanswered. The turn 2 Pack Rat dominated the game. I concede to the Grey Merchant, and we move on to game 2. Where I am on the play. We keep our opening hand. We have a Pithy Needle, so we haven't answered a Pack Rat, which is what I chose. My Witch Stalker got Thought Seized. No big deal. He cast a Pack Rat. I mean, it's not a bad blocker. And I want to start a Mangle Faces. So Dread Mangler gets cast. And he mangles faces. He's blocked. I cast Underworld Connections. I lose my Mangler to Pharika's Cure due to the 1 damage that it had on Pack Rats. But we have card advantage going on now with our Underworld Connections. There's another Pack Rat. I make a Witch Stalker. And he makes a Desecration Demon. That's a pretty good one. But I'm not too worried about it because if I get a 5th land, Vraska's going to take care of the demon. We trade Witch Stalker for Pack Rat during the combat. We miss our land. His Duress, by the way, I ended up taking a Hero's Downfall. He had 2 Dark Betrayals and another Cure, which was pretty good against my hand at the time. Since I've got my 5th land, I went ahead and sacrificed my Troll. We Charm to not take a ton of damage. We've got Abrupt Decay for the Pack Rats. I'm going to end up taking 2, going to 8. Vraska comes into play. We give it the +1. Mutavault's still coming at me, so that makes me think he's got a downfall. But he's got a demon, so we go ahead and kill the demon with our Vraska. And what we should have done was cast the Reaper first, then killed the demon, and let ourselves scry. And we missed that play. Gave him Hexproof. He had the other Dark Betrayal, so we get both of the Dark Betrayals out of his hands, which is where we want to be. Mutavault takes us down to 4. We have our Wolf. We +1 Vraska. And I am running out of time. I'm at 3, he's at 17. I'm holding on to this hero's downfall for all dear life, because I need to make sure that I have removal in case of gray merchants. We make our troll. We don't attack, because I know he's got cure. Can't really thought seize. We kill his demon, make another witch stalker, and start our climb back up. We've got a pithing needle. This pithing needle I named Mutavault with because I didn't want him to be able to block, even though it shut off my own Mutavault. So he's at 9 now. My Lotless Troll gets regenerated. He goes back up to 11 off the cure. He has a downfall for my Vraska. No big deal. I consider casting Vraska again here, but if you look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 open lands. If I cast the Vraska and he happens to have Gray Merchant, I lose, because in response to Gray Merchant, you put his ability on the stack. You kill the Gray Merchant. It checks for the black mana symbols. It sees its devotion is 0. Nothing happens. But we're getting in for 9. We put him to 3. And he draws nothing to consequence and concedes the game on turn 17. So we're 1-1. Let's go ahead and move on to game 3. I keep a fairly good hand while my opponent mulligans to 5. I, of course, thought seize him on turn 1. It showed Underworld Connections, Hero's Downfall, Nightveil Spectre, and Swamp. Notice the Golgari Charms and Abrupt Decays. The correct card for me to take would have been this Hero's Downfall, because I've got plenty of ways to deal with his own Underworld Connections. Mutavault crashes in for 2. I've got my Lotless Troll, and I know that he's got Downfall. I go ahead and lead with the Guild Gate because I want to be able to regenerate my Lotless Troll in case I need to. He, of course, would have had the mana to cast Downfall. We cast our Troll, everything's golden. There's a Nightveil Spectre. That's going to obviously eat an Abrupt Decay. It did just eat an Abrupt Decay. We don't attack. We need to save our life. He makes another Spectre. So for a mulligan to 5, it's turned out pretty good for him. We got a Mutavault. Spectre eats another Decay. Still no attacks. I need to keep my life up. And we're starting to draw pretty well. We go and regenerate our Troll. Troll eats it anyways, but it's okay. He wasted 2 downfalls to kill the Troll. His Mutavault attack puts me down to 10 because I can't activate my Mutavault to block back, which would have been ideal. I thought seize him, see another thought seize, take it. I go down to 8, draw a card, play my Swamp. This time I've got Mutavault. I've got plenty of lands. I activate my own Mutavaults, and it gets Devour Fleshed. Good draw. I gain 2, then immediately take 2. Couldn't regenerate off Devour Flesh because of the sacrifice effect. Make my second underworld connections. And that's going to put me to 4 with this attack from the Mutavaults. I, of course, have no blockers because I don't have any creatures. We draw a troll. He's got 1 card in hands. We got to make this troll. We play that untapped. We got to save our life. Troll gets Devour Flushed. Alright, we're at 5. Duress happens. I lose my Golgari Charm. Knowing that I need as many cards as possible, I'm going to go ahead and use my charm here to shrink his Mutavault to where I only take 1 instead of 2. I get to draw an extra card. It's another troll, by the way, and a swamp. And we've got Witch Stalker and Troll. And I am cold to him drawing a Gray Merchant. He draws a land, which is fine because it was about time he started drawing blanks. There's my Reaper of the Wild. After I went down to 1. And I go ahead and attack for 5. I'm still dead to a Gray Merchant at any point in this game. The beginning of his combat, Desecration Demon triggers. I decide not to sack anything. I draw a Mutavault. I activate the Mutavault and I sack that guy. I get to scry. It takes a while. But there's a Hero's Downfall on top. That guy's staying on top. And I attack with my team outside of the Witch Stalker. I left the Witch Stalker back because he has Hexproof. He wouldn't be able to be Hero's Downfall in case he had one. He activates the Mutavault, trigger the Desecration Demon, I sacrifice Lotleth Troll, Hero's Downfall remains on top. I duress, see a swamp, don't wish to sacrifice a creature, attack with my 4/5, still don't sacrifice a creature, and I downfall his demon. The scry would have been Overgrown Tomb. That would have been put on the bottom. The next card was Hero's Downfall anyways. So even his backup plan of blocking Mutavault wouldn't have mattered. I still think that he conceded a little bit earlier, but that's not up to me. So that's it with round 2. I'll have my sideboarding technique in the article after this is all said and done. We are now 2-0 with our black-green rock deck, and we will be back with round 3 of this daily event on Outside the Deckbox here shortly. I'm Joshua Clater, thanking you for watching. We'll see you for round 3.